March 4th, 2026, a 73-year-old man walks out of a federal prison. He served 11 years, not for what he did, but for what he wouldn't say. 500 gold coins are still missing. Only he knows where. That man found the greatest sunken treasure in American history, 3 tons of gold on the seabed for 131 years. He solved a problem nobody else could solve, and it cost him 11 years in a cell. The 161 people who paid for the search got nothing. You'll see who took that gold one after another, and why a coin off that ship is worth more than the identical coin without the story.
September 12, 1857. The steamer Central America is running for New York with 578 people aboard and about 3 tons of California gold. Not a treasure chest. A shipment ordered by New York banks running short of hard money. A hurricane catches her off the Carolinas. She springs a leak. The water reaches the boilers. The engines die and she drifts for 2 days. 425 people go down with her. Commander William Herndon loads the women and children into the boats, changes into his dress uniform and returns to his post. A month later, those banks suspended payments. The gold went 7,200 feet down and stayed there 131 years because nobody knew where there was. In 1983, an ocean engineer at Battelle in Columbus, Ohio, decided to find it. Tommy Thompson was 31 and he saw the real problem. This was not a diving job, it was a search problem. The ship could be anywhere in 1,400 square miles of Atlantic, 10 times the area searched for the Titanic, so he hired a mathematician. Larry Stone, of a firm called Metron, built a Bayesian probability map out of scraps, a position Herndon shouted to a passing schooner, the spot where survivors were found next morning in 2 days of drift. Then he raised $12.7 million from 161 investors, pitched as a technology venture, not a treasure hunt. But the ocean does not care about your map. 1986, 40 days of sonar over the entire box. 1987, they dive on the wrong ship. A sonar shadow shaped like a paddle wheel is a burned-out sailing ship. The masts are anchor chain. The next has hundreds of tons of coal on the bottom and no engines. One season, millions of dollars, nothing. That winter, Bob Evans, the project geologist, went back through the tapes and found a target the sonar crew had dismissed as geology. They called it Foxtrot Alpha. September 11th, 1988. The cameras cross Foxtrot Alpha, and an enormous paddle wheel frame stands out of the dark. Then the bell. Morgan Iron Works, New York, 1853. Morgan built her engines. Over 3 seasons, a robot they built themselves brought up over 500 gold ingots and 7,500 coins. Within a year, the lawsuit started. About 40 insurance companies turned up in a Norfolk courtroom holding policies written in 1857. Their argument: we paid out on this gold then, so it has been ours ever since. The trial judge threw them out. They had destroyed their own paperwork, so they had abandoned the gold. In 1992, the Fourth Circuit reversed him. Abandonment requires an unmistakable affirmative act, the court said, proven by clear and convincing evidence. Losing your files for a century is not that. Those judges called what Thompson had done a paradigm of American initiative and determination, then sent it back for 4 more years. In 1996, he finally won about 92%. 9 years of litigation for victory. Now watch what a victory costs. In 1999, Thompson sold the treasure to a California group run by dealer Dwight Manley, 532 gold ingots and thousands of coins. The newspaper said $50 million. Thompson's own lawyer put the real payout closer to 43 and called the press figures inaccurate. Either way, his 161 investors received nothing. In 2005, they sued the Dispatch Printing Company, which had put in about $1 million, and 9 of his own crew who had signed away their right to ever speak about the wreck for a share of the profit. A federal appeals court put it plainly, they have not seen a dime of their promised share of the spoils. On August 13, 2012, a judge ordered him into court to account for the money and for 500 gold coins. He did not come. The bench warrant issued the same day. He was already gone. For 2.5 years, nobody could find him. On January 27, 2015, marshals followed his partner, Alison Anticareer, for 7 hours through buses and taxis to a Hilton near Boca Raton. In the room, 43 mobile phones, 16 photo IDs, 3 voice changers, $425,000. That December, Judge Algernon Marbley gave him 2 years for criminal contempt, put it on hold, and added civil contempt with no end date. $1,000 a day, every day, he refused to say where the 500 coins were. And here's what almost everyone gets wrong. Those coins are not from 1857, they are commemorative pieces struck from the ship's own gold, worth about $2.5 million. The fine ran 335 days, $3.3 million. He stayed silent over coins worth less than the penalty for staying silent. In February 2025, Marbley ended it. He was, in his words, no longer convinced that further incarceration is likely to coerce compliance. Thompson served the 2 years he still owed and walked out on March 4, 2026. The coins have never been found. Meanwhile, the gold he did hand over did something nobody predicted. More than 5,400 were double eagles dated 1857 as struck in San Francisco, shipped as bank gold, never circulated a day. They went down stacked in wooden boxes onto a limestone bottom that kept them from corroding. Bob Evans has spent 35 years cleaning them, one at a time, and signs every certificate personally. That signature is the price. January this year, one heritage auction, 2 of them, both graded Mint State 65. The one with the shipwreck pedigree, $13,420. The one in a plain holder, $11,895.
So whose gold was it? Everybody's apparently, except the man who found it. Insurers with policies from before the Civil War, a dealer, a court. The only thing that outlived them all is the paper trail. That is what the market pays for. Break the plastic holder that says a coin came off that ship, and you don't have a shipwreck coin. You have a coin. If that's how you want to look at whatever's in your drawer, subscribe. This channel is about what things are really worth and who decides it. Next time, 1 grade point on the same coin and why it can double the price.